it's Tina and I am back. And I am here with another car chat video. 2 in less than a week. Wow, you go girl. But no, I am on my way to school right now and it's a longer ride from work to school. So I have a little time to spare in the car while I'm driving to talk to you guys. And thank you guys so much for the feedback on my last car chat video. I just posted it today and I have received so many great comments and so much feedback from you guys. And thank you so much for your support. And that is what I was talking about in that video too. I have my core subscribers. I have people that are here for the content that I create and provide and who appreciate it for what it is, and they don't try to change me and make me something that I am not, or try to force me to do something that is not genuine to me. So thank you guys so much again. Oh my, I have so many comments guys, like so many. I have a lot of comments on car chat videos, which are more personal videos. I find that I get a lot more comments on those types of videos because it's more interactive and I feel like it's more personal. And I love it. So thank you guys. I'm gonna try again to do more car chat videos. I'll try to do at least 1 per week because I can do it on Fridays when I'm driving to school. So we'll try to do that, but don't hold me to that. I'm gonna try my best. You know, things are busy, so you just never know. But I thought we could go ahead and talk about Marc Jacobs, since I mentioned it in the last car chat that I wanted to touch on Mr. Marc Jacobs, who, dude, I was rooting for you and you just went ahead and messed it up. And I have varying feelings about the whole fiasco. And in case you didn't know, Marc Jacobs recently did a runway show where he was debuting his new collection. You know how they do. I think it was during Fashion Week in New York in September. And Mr. Marc Jacobs went ahead and used models with faux dreadlocks, neon colored faux dreadlocks on his runway. And I did not have an issue with that at all. But a lot of people on social media, Instagram, Twitter, they were just going off about cultural appropriation, and they were so up in arms about this whole situation. And this is where my first thought about the whole situation comes in. The fact that Marc used models, oh, I forgot to mention that his models were mostly white. I think he had 1 or 2 models that were of a deeper skin tone, not deep chocolate, but of a darker skin tone, but most of his models were white with the faux dreadlocks. And that was the issue that most people had, was that he was using an ethnic hairstyle, or a hairstyle that is associated with black women and black culture, on white models instead of just getting black models to sport these locks and call it a day. That's what caused the whole uproar. And quite frankly, I had no issues with Marc Jacobs using faux dreadlocks on his models. White, black, Chinese, Indian, it doesn't matter to me. And I'll tell you why. I grew up in Jamaica for 18 years. That's where I grew up. That's where I went to school. That's my whole formative years. And I've been around dreadlocks my entire life in Jamaica and now here in the States. Jamaica kind of popularized dreadlocks. They didn't originate it, let's be clear. Dreadlocks originated in the ancient times. Like, I don't even think we can go back as far in recorded history to figure out when it originated. Because if you think about it, dreadlocks are matted here. And they had no grooming tools back then, in caveman times even, so obviously they had some form of locks. But in Jamaica, it was popularized by the Rastafarian movement, It's a religious movement, and dreadlocks is a part of that religious movement where they don't artificially manipulate their hair, so they let it fall into free form dreadlocks, which they're not separating it into little boxes and creating rows of anything. It's just free form, let the hair do what it does, and they're into a very natural lifestyle. They're the original vegans. And the Rastafarian religion and culture manifested itself sometime in the 50s and 60s, and with the popularity of reggae music and Bob Marley, it became this thing to do. Dreadlocks were seen as this hip, trendy thing now to do, and it was taken and made even more modern, and it was incorporated in the more traditional sense now, where we'll see women of color braid their hair, so section off their hair, not braid it, but they have locks, but the locks are more groomed and they're maintained and they're tightened on a weekly or monthly basis to keep it neat, and they style it, and there are different ways to wear it, and it has evolved into this beautiful way to celebrate your natural hair and wear your hair in its natural form. And it's a beautiful thing, and I appreciate it. The thing is, it didn't originate with black people. Yes, it's very prevalent in Africa. Yes, it's very prevalent in a lot of our African culture and a lot of the tribes, a lot of the countries in Africa. They have different ways of doing their locks, and it is associated with their culture, but it's not specific to a certain people, a certain nation, or a certain culture. There are Indians that have been doing locks for a long time. There are Asian countries where they have been doing locks for a long time. It is nothing new. And that is my problem when we are attacking Marc Jacobs for putting it on white women, and we're declaring, how dare you, it's cultural appropriation. But cultural appropriation is taking, say, a practice or a garment or something that is traditional to a culture, maybe to a people, maybe to a nation, and taking it over into the mainstream and profited from it without paying homage to the culture you took it from. And it's more than that. It tends to be something that people have used against that culture, or that people, or frowned upon those people for that same thing, and now you're taking it, twisting it, and profiting from it. So think about the Kardashians and the cornrows. Like, a lot of people hate that now they've been wearing cornrows, and all of a sudden, oh, it's a trendy new hairstyle. And it's like, no, it's not a new hairstyle. Black women have been wearing this for decades, for centuries. It's not new. So don't think just because now it's on someone white, it is better. It is not a new thing, okay? And that's the problem I think people were having with Marc Jacobs, is that he took this hairstyle that black women and black people have been frowned upon for years for wearing this hairstyle in like a professional environment. They've been frowned upon, and now you're taking this hairstyle and putting it in a fashion show and making it trendy. So now you're gonna see everybody with their faux locks running around being trendy. That's where the anger came from, and I understand that. But my thing is, growing up in Jamaica, we're a country of many races. I'm half Indian and black. Hello. Like, they're Indians, they're Chinese, they're Japanese, they're white people. And everyone was free to be a part of the Rastafarian movement, and everyone embraced dreads if they were a part of the Rastafarian culture. So white, pink, orange, or green, if you were a Rastafarian, they did not discriminate. It was open. If you are a part of the religion and you want to celebrate and be a part of it, you could have dreads. And so many people had dreads, so many different races. So I never saw it as a race thing. It was never this, oh, it's only for black people, so only black people should wear it, and how dare other races wear it. I came from a culture where we embraced everyone, and we didn't exclude people because of their race or their skin color. It wasn't an exclusionary practice. And to see it here, and for people to pretty much be saying you're excluded from wearing locks because you're not black, it's counterintuitive to me. And I feel like we've gotten to the point where we're the boy that cried wolf. Every single thing that someone says all of a sudden offends us, and we pull the race card, and it gets out of hand. And I say that because it's so easy for people to dismiss the race card now, and to dismiss racial issues, because we make everything now about race and cultural appropriation, and it waters down the issue that we really should be addressing. And should people be called out for racial indiscretion? Should they be called out for cultural appropriation? Absolutely. But we need to figure out a more constructive way to do that, and one that's not going to destroy and water down our cause. Because you keep screaming wolf, at some point no one's even going to look in your direction anymore. And when it's really wolf, it's not going to be seen with the urgency that it needs to be seen. And Marc Jacobs, his response is what really pissed me off, because in responding to the cries of cultural appropriation, he hit us with the, you can Google it, it's since been deleted, but it's out there. He hit us with the, oh, well, y'all are screaming cultural appropriation because of my locks on the runway, but nobody's calling cultural appropriation when a black woman straightens her hair. And I'm like, hold up, Marc Jacobs, fall back, hold up, let me get my black out, because who? What? Excuse you, Marc. Let's be very clear on something. Straight hair did not originate with white people. In fact, straight hair is more associated with Asia and the Middle East. So yeah, my mother is Indian and has dead straight hair. Calm yourself, Marc. First of all, ain't nobody worried about your European features. Ain't nobody trying to look like you. Ain't nobody culturally appropriating your hairstyle. So just stop it. Stop it, first of all. And what's insulting about that is that black women weren't straightening their hair. We didn't fall into straightening our hair because we wanted to look like someone else or another race. We weren't straightening our hair because it's trendy. Black women straightened their hair to assimilate with a society that circled around European features. And white women straightened their hair. Let's get that straight. No pun intended. So, what are you saying? It's an assimilation to fit into a society that tells you your hair is not good enough, your hair is unkept, your hair is unprofessional, your hair is seen as a threat. It is too distracting in school. Like, who the fudge sickle? You're gonna tell little girls that they can't wear an afro or wear their hair a certain way because it's distracting in school. That happened this year. Check it out. You're gonna tell African girls that they can't wear their hair in the natural state. They have to assimilate to another ideal from a different race. They did this in Africa as well, and the little girls, oh, I'm so proud of my, oh my God, black girl magic at its finest. They protested and stood up for themselves. Their dress code dictated that they needed to wear their hair a certain way, and that their natural hairstyles were not seen as good enough. And they stood up for themselves, and that got overturned. And yes, wear your natural hair. Be proud of your natural hair. So Marc, take your freaking comment and shove it up your ass, because ain't nobody got time for that. And then, oh, we are getting heated. Then Mr. Marc Jacobs is gonna retweet an article that said, somebody wrote an article saying, oh, instead of being concerned about dreadlocks on Marc Jacobs' runway, we should worry about black on black violence and black men dying by guns every day. Whoa. You don't get to dictate, sir, what we should be upset about and what we should take a stand about. You don't get to dictate that. Excuse me? Like, you're trying to now regulate our anger and our angst. No, this isn't what you should be angry about. You should be angry about something else and direct your energy elsewhere. Like, oh, so you see, here's where we have the problem. It's always the dominant race and the people in power and the people that are benefiting from privilege that want to tell us what to be angry about, what to be frustrated about, what to talk about, what to protest. Just like how when we say Black Lives Matter, you want to come tell us, no, all lives matter. So can you only say all lives matter? It's not just Black lives. Nobody said just Black Lives Matter. We said Black Lives Matter. It's not detracting from you and yours. It's not taking away from other lives. It's putting us at the forefront to highlight issues that we're having with racial injustice and systematic oppression and racism. Like, you don't get to tell us how to have our movement. You don't get to tell us what to be mad at. That's not your place. So Marc Jacobs, if you don't go somewhere and go sit, I swear to God, and then he hits us with the I don't see color. Woo! Why do they always give us that? It's like the get out of jail free card. No, it doesn't get you out of jail free. When you say you don't see color, it's very dismissive. It's saying, hold up, I don't see color. I'm not a part of the problem, so don't mix me. And that is actually that does make you a part of the problem, because you see, when you don't acknowledge that there are color disparities, when you don't acknowledge that there's an issue with race in this country and that it's deep rooted in our system and in our mindset and in our society, and it's become so status quo that you've just accepted it as the norm and now you don't see color. I'm sorry, I don't have that luxury. I see color every day. You know why? Because I wake up in my skin. I wake up next to a husband that's in his skin, and his skin is seen as a threat. His skin can get him killed. I'm sorry, but we don't have that privilege of not seeing color. So don't dismiss our angst and our concerns and our outrage because you don't see color. Good for you. High five. Yeah, that's called white privilege, and you don't have to see color. So stop it. Stop it. Now, do I think we should run out and boycott Marc Jacobs? Boycott Marc Jacobs. Don't buy his product? Tell me how many of you are really out there buying Marc Jacobs products. Because have you seen his foundation range? This is where he doesn't see color because they're 2 deep shades, and the 2 deep shades are my complexion. So, yeah, you don't see color, Marc Jacobs. Obviously, it's no concern to you because you have all beiges and porcelain and ivory shades and 2 little tan shades. So you don't even see medium. You just see all light. Good for you. So it's not like Marc Jacobs caters his products to our skin tone anyway. So how many of you are truly spending your money on Marc Jacobs? Honestly. And the thing is, I'm so sick and tired of being angry and boycotting this and revolting against that and going off on the other thing. I want to be more solution oriented. We need to start the conversation and educate people, because I don't think a lot of these people don't think they're racist, and because they're not being actively racist and they're not actively discriminating, but in their actions And in keeping with status quo, they are indeed a part of the problem. And until they see that, and until we can re-educate and reprogram this country and this society and its people, we won't affect a change. And Marc Jacobs is not gonna hurt if we don't buy from him. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other people that buy from him, people that he caters to that don't see color either and don't care. So this is not helping. We need to get our voices out there in a more constructive way where we can really affect change. And I don't know how to do that. And really, I won't be buying any more Marc Jacobs products. Am I outright boycotting him? No. Like, my boycott, like, I boycott Jeffree Star. Like, he will never get money from me. I will never showcase any products of him in my videos. But am I boycotting Marc Jacobs like that? No, I just won't buy anything else, but I'm still going to use the products because the products that I have, I like. In fact, there are brushes of his that are among my favorites that I'm going to continue to use. But am I going to promote him and actively say, go get this, go get that? Probably not. Honestly, it's at that point where I'll still use your products and I'll even show them in my videos, but I'm not going to go out and get new things and promote your products. But am I telling you you need to go boycott? Do what you want to do. I don't think some of these things are really... I think, again, the boy cried wolf. People are doing that with Kat Von D. She made a comment and people are like, oh, she's racist. I don't think these people are actively racist. I think they have racist tendencies that they don't even realize, and that's the thing. We need to start opening eyes, and I'm hoping that there is some way to do this and we figure it out. And I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? I gotta go to class. I just got out of class and I don't remember exactly where we left off, but I just wanted to say that I am not here to say boycott Marc Jacobs and never purchase anything from his line again. It's your money and your decision, and if you want to put your money where your mouth is, then feel free to boycott the brand and speak out. That is not my place to tell you what to feel strongly about. It's nobody's place. I just know personally, I am tired of being triggered by everything out there, everything that somebody says out of ignorance and not necessarily out of racism or being actively racist. There are people that are really ignorant to issues that we face in today's society, and they have their blinders on and they're blinded by the privilege that they experience and enjoy, and they can't see beyond that because they have never had to suffer through that, so they can't see any of that. And at the end of the day, I'd rather speak towards enlightenment and informing people about how their comments and how their actions affect others rather than get angry and aggressive. It doesn't lead to much progression, and that's where I am right now. I can't be one that keeps fostering hate in my core. It doesn't do any good for me or for my well-being, and I know it doesn't do well for anybody else. I think it's really meant to be a learning point, and I think it's up to Marc Jacobs to make that connection and realize where he went wrong, and hopefully the feedback that he got opened his eyes a little bit and didn't cause him to put up just a mental block and just forget everything and be like, oh, I don't see color, so I'm not a part of the problem. I hope he did in fact get enlightened a little bit. Even a little bit helps. Like, this is what we're going through, this is how we feel, you know, hear us out, and hopefully he learns something from the experience, and that's all I can ask for. None of us can force him. The thing is, you can't force someone to be a better person. You can't force someone to open their eyes and see the plight of others if they don't want to do that themselves, and I will not try and force anyone to do that. I had a friend that I lost this year because of racial comments and the whole immigration issue and Trump. I lost a friend because they wouldn't open their eyes to see something that was beyond their grasp as a white person. And you know what? I was okay with letting that person go because I was trying to show them a different perspective and they weren't open to that. And that was somebody I didn't need to be associated with. It's such a gray area these days, and do what you feel is best. Do what you think is the best thing for you and your ideals, but don't let hatred and anger build up in your core. It's a bitter place to be. It's just not the best place to be. But I understand if someone is over the brand. And like I said, while I won't be outright boycotting the brand and starting a movement and protesting against Marc Jacobs, it's not going to be a brand that I am going to focus on or feature on my channel. Does that make sense? So it's not that, oh, get out there with your forks and burn Marc Jacobs at the stake. It's just, the energy isn't necessary for someone that's just living in ignorance. It's not outright active racism, it's ignorance, and I don't have the energy to direct towards that, and I'm not gonna have it bring me down into the trenches of anger and bitterness. I'm not gonna have it do that to me. But I'm gonna still use the products from his line that I liked. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because this is, again, this is a very personal decision. It is something that you have to decide for yourself. I just wanted to give my perspective, my point of view, and hear where you guys stand. It's such a gray area for me. It's such a very gray area. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.